Hey, good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday morning. Looking forward to hopefully doing some live readings for as many people as possible that are joining this morning. So we're just going to give it a little bit of time before we get started. One of the things that I always like to say is really important to think about when we're connecting with people in the spirit world is to think of them as still people. They're still your loved ones. So they still have their personalities intact. They still, are going to speak from their point of view, not the way that you think of them in that way. Good morning, Rachel. And it's also important to note that as the medium, I don't have control in who connects nor in what order they connect. So as you join in, hi Lily, as you join in, I would say to you, start inviting, excuse me, your loved one that you would like to hear from to join. You may see a moderator acting in the chat room. That's Nancy Shields. So she's just helping to keep things kind of in order, because when we do group readings, the thing about group readings is a lot of times as we get started, there is going to be similarities around, individuals and how they've transitioned or how they start their connection. There's so many similarities amongst us. However, then there'll be a separation in a certain detail. So I'm loving watching everybody come in. So I've just been chatting a little bit, give you guys some time to get in. So hi, John. Hi, Rachel. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Tam, Lori, Lisa, another Amy. So hello, everyone. What I am going to ask of you is to please don't put any details in the chat box that is going to give away who your loved one is. Let us do that for you. And you'll notice I often will speak with we or us. And what I'm referring to there is your loved ones in the spirit world, because I actually work for them. And I do think they get a kick out of this, that I work for them, So the relevant aspects, the way that this works in groups like this, what's really, really important, because we're going to get started very, very shortly, is a couple of things. So number one, you must be able to take at minimum at least 80% of what I say when I get started, because I want to be able to get narrowed down to one individual and then speak with you. Now, I want to talk to you about exactly how I want you to share that. Okay. So just want to be able to get to one person. And yes, again, things will relate to, multiple individuals in the beginning. All right. But you must be able to take to 80%. If we have more than one person taking that information, then more details will come, and then I'll get it narrowed down to you. Once I get it narrowed down to you, what I want you to do is put as many hearts as possible, or smiley faces, or prayer hands, but the same emoji in the chat box, so I know it's you. And then let us just have that kind of conversation. I know it's a different way to do it this way, but that will help me. Like normally on Zoom, like the hands would go up and then we would bring you on. But in this instance, since we're doing it through YouTube Live and chat, what I would love for you to do is just say, like, basically a lot of hearts, and say, basically, that will let me know, or Nancy, that will let me know that that is you. Okay. So again, don't provide any details about your loved one here in the chat. Now, the other thing that's important too is every medium is going to get some things maybe a little bit off, right? So none of us are 100% correct. It's just not possible, because the way that people communicate in the spirit world, and the way that I'm communicating now, like I would with you in front of me, is very different. So don't be afraid to go, type in, no, that doesn't make sense. All I'm looking for from your responses is, yes, that makes sense. No, that doesn't make sense. Or I don't know, I'm unsure, have to look into it, that kind of thing. All right. Because don't try again not to give details about things. What else might be important here? I think that's the most relevant information, because I really just like to really just do readings. So it's nice to have Nancy on there. And Nancy's my spouse and co-founder of Home Medium Academy, in case you're wondering, who the heck is Nancy Shield? Who is this that's moderating? So we've co-founded a school together. So that's who you're seeing there. All right. And that's to help more, I'm going to say more you guys than me, because I'll be speaking with your loved ones. Now, again, I can't guarantee a specific person, but your loved here, they're all coming in. Okay. Your loved ones are really ready to get going. And so I'm getting ready to get going. The one last thing I want to say is my strongest gift is how bad at names I am here and in the spirit world. So, if you're looking for a name, you're not going to get that necessarily from me. Maybe one out of every 200 readings now. I have to go about 16 years, like maybe one out of every 200 readings. But it's lovely to see you all. I say hi to everybody here coming in. It's my pleasure to do this. I've been wanting to do this for a very long time. Nancy could tell you. And so I'm just happy to be doing this for you guys. So on that point, enough chit chat from Amy. I think we've got some people in here ready to go. Again, you must be able to take at least 80% of that information. Okay. It's really important as we get started, because I do have a tendency to start kind of quickly. All right. And then once I check in, if you can take that, put several hearts up. Okay. Or prayer hands, or whatever emoji feels very comfortable to you, but do the exact same one, please. All right. That would be like the equivalent of raising your hand if you want to do it that way. All right, so let's get started here, because I've got a gentleman on the father side of the family. I know he is a father to someone here. He's telling me that he's gone a little bit too soon. So I notice he's saying a little bit too soon. So I'd probably have to say that because he's a very active man. He was very active while he's here. Slightly trimmer build, average to trimmer build. Maybe got a little more trim than he would have liked to as he was getting a little bit older, like many people do. But I know he had a slight heart condition, and he's telling me it's a common condition. But I didn't think I was gonna go from it, is what he's saying. Okay. So I didn't think I was gonna go from it, is what he's telling me. And everything happens so fast. So I know that this is a fast, unexpected transition from him. And I do feel like he lived a little bit slightly I don't, not right in the heart of the city, so just a little bit outside of that. A very good provider for his family. He's a hardworking man. He thinks he's funny, so I'm gonna check in with you guys. So if it's making sense to any of you here, go ahead and start doing those emojis if you don't mind. All right, so we've got Lori with a lot of, and I like the green hearts. Okay, I'm just gonna give it one more minute, or not even a minute, just a few seconds, to see if there's anybody else that can relate to this man. And okay, so also he's talking about 3 children. So, but I don't, for some reason, I don't have the impression that there's all 3 here, like, or that, but 3 is what he's mentioning. So so if we could just ask right now, Lori, okay, yes, all right, perfect. And now anybody else, please do listen in, because if there's some similarities, you know, Spirit has a way of trying to get multiple its messages to multiple people, and at the same time we also want to be very supportive of one another, okay, because we're right now in a very special group, aren't we? Okay, Lori, so let's talk to your dad to you here, because he's actually giving me a little bit of a chuckle. He's telling me that that he's he didn't think he would do anything like this. So so he's laughing about this, right? And I know that you also, it looks like you also have a grandmother on the mother's side within the family. So a grandmother in the spirit world as well, on the mother's side, but it's your dad that really wants to speak. And he thinks this is a hoot. Okay. He thinks this is really, really funny to make this connection with you. And, but you see, he says, I would do anything for my children, even when I didn't always tell them so. So that right there tells me about him, that he wasn't always as free with his emotions as he would have liked to have been. And so, and I love the fact that he says that he would do anything for his children, because I would say that he doesn't like to either really talk about his emotions or really express them, because that's not what a man does. You know, the man holds up the household, and he says, but he just shook his finger at me too. And he's telling me, but don't make me sound like somebody like that is placed in an old generation. Okay. Because I would like to think I kept myself younger than that. Is that making sense, Lori? I like this man, Lori. I really do. Okay, good. All right. I know there's just a hint of a delay in there. Okay. I want to be able to do as many readings as possible, but I got to finish with your father. Okay, here. We won't speak to your grandmother, just to be clear, but I just wanted you to know that she is your grandmother is here. She says, don't call me she, but your grandmother is here. So I know she's a little feisty, but she wanted you to know that also that she is here to support you, right? And regardless of what your father says. So these two kind of, I don't want to say exactly bicker, but they could tease each other a little bit, you know, in their own ways. So I would say they, they have an interesting dynamic between the two of them, all right? So there's a sense of, oh, I don't want to, appreciation, right? But they're having a little more fun in the spirit world now. And that is a really, really big thing. But Lori, your dad says right now, and you're going to have to take this advice and how it feels right for you, okay? Because we're always responsible for what we say, what they say. Um, you know, we're responsible for our actions, our free will. But your father says to tell you that he's proud of you. And he says, but he doesn't want you to change a thing right now that doesn't feel right to you. That's his exact phrasing. I don't want you to change anything that doesn't feel right to you. So I hope that makes sense, because it's met with a lot of love coming in for you. Okay. So, and let me just give you some love from your grandmother. And your grandmother is also saying that she's loved what you've done with your hair. So I take it you've made a little change with your hair recently. But she says to tell you, you look beautiful regardless of how you might be dressed right now. You still look beautiful. So a lot of love to you from the both of them. All right. So thank you so much, Lori, for joining and letting me meet these two individuals. Okay. So, all right. I really got a kick out of your dad, I have to say. He's kind of a trip. All right. Okay. So here we go. We're going to go to the next one. This might be a little bit more sensitive. You're so welcome, Lori. This might be a little more sensitive to some people. But I've got a younger male here. Okay. And I want to say, when I go to a younger male, again, please don't put any details in there. Just the 80% when I check in has to make sense to you. Okay. But I've got a younger male. His hair is, it's like a full head of hair. That's the way I'm going to say it. Very, very full of a head of hair. And he doesn't want to cut. And I just feel like I need to say, sorry, Mom, but I just didn't want my hair cut. All right. He is taking responsibility for his actions contributing to his passing. He's telling me that his family helped him a lot while he was here, and he could be very tough to deal with. I do feel like he did have multiple issues. So I do feel a sense of substance in his system, but I feel there's more going on with him as well. So it's not, in this case, it doesn't feel like just a substance type of problem, but there's another aspect. So let me see if I can clarify. He would have also his things haven't really been touched too much, because I see multiple emojis from people. So his things haven't been fully taken care of, right? Like we still have his things. And I know at one time when he was younger, there seems to be some kind of medal or little trophies, like things like that for some sports, but he's not overall, I would consider, a typical sports guy. Okay. I almost feel like there's a little bit of trouble learning or some kind of other scenario in here with him. So, okay, I think we must be with you, Lily, because of the two things. I see Beth is waving her hand a lot too, but there's got to be two things. So, and I see Lily has kind of stuck in there from the get-go, right? Beth puts two. The more emojis is going to be, the more it makes sense to you. All right. So forever in blue jeans. All right. These jeans really look kind of worn, I'm going to say. So forever in blue jeans, and that comes in as a song. It looks like Beth is giving me more answers now. That comes in as a song, and that's like a Neil Diamond song too. So, all right. It is the two things that are really, really critical. So I don't know if Lily is out and Beth is in, but I just want to make sure. See if I can get some more, if we can get some more details from this young man. Okay, he had a little bit of a I guess, I mean, a lot of kids deal with breaking out. So Beth, does like the learning, a little bit of a learning also contribute, is that there's another issue with him with the learning? Beth is saying yes. Okay. All right. So Lily, I really want you to listen in, because we've got, what happens here is we've got two people coming in at the same time, but Lily, your son, perhaps being the sweet man, young man he is putting Beth's son in front to speak more, right? But they're both trying to get message to the two of you at the same time. So that's how I like to say it. All right. So, Beth, I must be with you in this instance. Okay. Because his things have not fully been touched, right, Beth? I really need okay, great, thank you for that confirmation. All right. And okay, he feels the need to say sorry to his family, and yet at the same time he's telling me that everybody understands and everybody forgives him, but he himself wants to apologize. He's also talking about giving it the good fight while he was here. This is what he's saying, So if this is still agreeing with you, Beth, just keep putting your, I like your pink glove there. All right, now you've got a pink heart. That works. All right. And I know, oh, I'm not sure where you're sitting in your home right now, but Beth, it looks like you're surrounded where you can see some of his things, is what he's telling me. So that you can see some of his things, and you always try to be. I almost feel like you're in his room at this moment. So because there's a lot of his things surrounding him, and one of the things he wants to tease you, Beth, a little bit. So I apologize for this, but again, I have to share what they share. He says that you you feel like you don't look good. You feel like you just don't look good since he has transitioned. And I will always say to all parents out there, or anybody, when somebody transitions, we don't get over it. We have to learn to adjust, right? But he's telling me that you're worried about how you look like you've aged since you transitioned, and he says, oh, that's nonsense. I want you to push that part away. Okay. He says, what we are seeing here from the spirit world, and he's with a dog in the spirit world as well. Actually, there's multiple, but there's one that's really close to him as well. So that's important. So and he wants you to know, and I feel like he's also greeted a dog since he has transitioned as well, because it feels like one came after him. Is that correct, Beth? And I'm going to just keep talking just a little more of him. I like this guy. But no new dog. Okay, that's off. All right. And thank you for saying no, because that's really important to be able to feel comfortable to say no to a medium. This is for everybody, right? All right. Now, your son. Okay. Signs everywhere are signs from him. And I know that you speak to him all the time. I know that you it's like you've heard him whisper to you, because that's the way that he's giving this, is like I say hello. I know that maybe have sounded a little bit creepy to you guys, but it's like a very soft, like, hello, when no one is around. And okay, he does a lot of things, because it's like he's knocking, he's making noises in the home. So then you go check to see what that noise is, and there's no one there. Well, there is somebody there, of course, right? It's him. He says, don't worry that I'm with the people that you've asked me to be with. He hasn't identified them, but he is letting me know that he is with the people that you have prayed for him, and he's laughing. He says, "Since when did you learn to pray so much?" So, Beth, I know he has a good sense of humor, okay? And he wants to make sure that you know that what you think are signs are really signs, all right? There's also an aspect, and we're almost finished with him, but there's also an aspect of these like something was done. Somebody did something with one of his T-shirts, so it looks like a throw pillow, not like a whole quilt thing, but somebody has done something with one of his T-shirts, and he's like, that is not very pretty, but it's meant out of goodwill. So so check into that, Beth, because it's an aspect of one T-shirt that somebody has saved and done, but it's a very worn T-shirt and it has a graphic on it. Okay. So so that might be something to check in if around with somebody else in a family that might have that T-shirt. Okay. The other thing is the tennis shoes. There's just things that are not able to be, like, you haven't been able to work your way through. And listen, I'm always going to say, take your time on those things. Do you understand? Take your time on those things. So, and that goes for all of you. Don't let anybody don't let anybody tell you when it's time to move on or get over it. Okay, that you've got to be ready to do these things. Okay, I just got an overwhelming sense of cologne, like way too much cologne, like how somebody, some boys are like 13, you know they they might put on too much cologne and such. So when you also get that sense of smell, Beth, also I know there was somebody before with Beth, and I'm getting that sense from that younger man too, that I do that too. So that's one of the ways that each of you will know that your boys are around. But whoo-wee, one of them really like that sense of, like, I mean, it was just too much, but it is kind of a fun sign, and a nice sign. But let me give you a lot of love, Beth, from your son. He's doing great. He's having, and I quote, the time of my life because I am free of the challenges. That's his words. And he also wants to make sure that the whole family, that he hears you, he sees you, he's around all of you. And I want you to know how much love I am taking in. And thank you so much is what he's saying. So I'm going to leave you with that love from your son, Beth. And I'm sorry, I don't remember the other person's name, but your son, there's got to be some similarities between the two. So let me just make sure by proxy through Beth's son that was passed on. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Beth. And I'm really sorry that your son is in the spirit world, and perhaps helping parents heal for any parents on here is a great avenue to assist for parents, dads, siblings, everybody. All right. Okay. All right. Thanks. Thank you so much. All right. Thanks, Beth. Appreciate that. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Okay. I have got one really feisty, hysterical woman here connecting with me, and she's coming in on the same level as you. So at this point, on the same level as you will be, now they haven't given me a relationship yet, but just for your identification and start thinking purposes, same level as you is going to be like a sister or a friend. Okay, in this case, I feel like it's a close friend, but boy, she is feisty as all get out. This woman is funny. All right. I feel that she would have gone closer to her like 40s, late 40s, early 50s, that kind of thing. And then, in her words, the cancer hit. That's what she's saying. And she says, look, I mean, she has a very big personality, and it's almost contradictory to your personality. Like she's a little bit hard to keep up with in the best ways possible, right? She does talk about having some of her own family, and she's not, even though her personality is big and she's very feisty, she's not a take it or leave it kind of person in regards to, some people are like, you just accept me as I am. She's not like that. She just has a very big personality and quite a bit of energy to go with it. So I'm going to check in here, because yeah, let's check in here. And I do feel like she had problems, like she would have liked to have had more children, but she had problems having children. So I know she had at least one, and she's holding a couple of pregnancies with her, so pregnancies that did not come. So far nobody can relate to this. I'm wondering if the relationship is a little bit off. Let me just work with her a little bit, because nobody has given the signs yet that this is her, so, or that they can relate to. I'm going to drop the relationship aspect for just a moment, okay? So if there's still anybody that could take this woman, but not being like a sister or a friend, without giving the sense of how you're tied together, but she's coming in strong. Okay, she also tells me that she's gone much longer than I think she's been. So this is somebody who's transitioned quite some time ago. So she's been gone much longer than I think she's been. So I was feeling, because she's got such a strong presence. I see. Okay, here's some more information. Cancer went away and then came back another time. So, and this is what was kind of annoying to her, is that she thought she had it beat. And this is somebody who is able to get a lot of things done kind of quickly. She's kind of fun, really, maybe a little, again, too much for some people in her personality, but kept a good home, she says. So she's talking about keeping a good home. And okay, I see Benny is starting to put some hearts in here. Okay, so kept a good home. I'm wondering. Okay, Benny, so you've put 3 hearts in. Yeah, the relationship must be off. Okay, so Benny, can you confirm that you could take most of this, if not almost all, except for the relationship? See, guys, mediumship's not perfect. It's not always as seen on TV, just so you know. Okay, so that's a yes. All right. Yeah, so she's been in transition longer. Okay. So she's watched you grow more from the spirit world. Is that correct? Your little dots. I can't see anybody's faces, so everybody looks like little dots. So, so she would have watched you grow some more since she's been in the spirit world. Is that right? Emotionally, yes, but physically, no. Interesting statement. Okay. All right. Well, clearly she's not on the same level, peer level as you. Is that correct? That's what I have off as the relationship? Emotionally, yes, but physically, no. It's a good statement. Good for you, Benny Kells. Um, Not yet. Let me give you a little bit more, okay, Benny? Um, because I really want her to. Okay, okay. Here's some more pieces from her. Um, so for me personally, I don't like to slow down too much in readings because I really want to keep um going with them, But so one of the things that first off, I have to give you so much love from this woman, and she knows that when she gives you the love, you'll spread it where it needs to go within the family or friends. That's what she's saying, Benny. So she knows that you'll do that um, to the best of your ability, right? And I mean, I need to love you so much. I mean, I just need to love you so much from her. And, as she puts it, family first. I understand from her, Benny, that you've been going through the last, I'm going to say, it looks like 6 to 8 months. There's been some ups and downs for you as well. This is what she's saying. And she's telling me to tell you to stay the course because you have been, she says, just stay the course because for a while there, you weren't sure you were going to quite make it, is what she says. And so she says, just stay the course because you're doing great. I almost want to say you're doing great, honey. So stay that course. And she says, the doors are opening for you now. And she says, it's, what is it? It's that she's really enjoying watching you start to believe in yourself is her phrasing. So she's really starting to see you believe in yourself, and she says that's what we all have to do. And I noticed she says we. I said, well, you have it very easy now in the spirit world, but the we all have to believe in ourselves. That's what spirit also wants to share with us so much. So and I noticed that it's like she wants to call you honey. So I know I had the relationship off, and that I'll accept that. You can tell me after. And I apologize for that, but sometimes, again, it's not perfect. But I just, from her, um watch the keys, she's telling me. So that's I'm seeing a set of keys. Um, and when she said watch the keys, I actually had to ask her, what did she mean by watch the keys? So what she's telling me is that watching the keys is be careful with your driving, okay? But also this is not being watchful with the keys. It's not also only about driving, but I feel like there's also her set of keys that is still here. Like no one's like discarded them or gotten rid of them. And she's wanted to carry a lot of things in her purse, this woman. So, right. And every now and then you feel like a little, I don't know if it's like a little chill or like a little sensory feeling on your side of your face, but this is her giving you a kiss from her. Okay, so a nice kiss from heaven or a kiss from the spirit world, however you want to think about it. But she's giving you just a little bit of kiss just to keep encouraging you on your hardest days. But you're doing everything right, because she says, you keep asking me, am I doing it right? Am I doing it good enough? And the answer is yes. So let me give you that from her. And I feel there's a happy belated birthday also within the family. So we've just passed a birthday because she said happy belated. So let me give you a lot of love from this woman. And Benny, listen, keep up the good work. Keep up the good work. So thank you for letting me meet her, because I just feel like this is somebody that would really be fun, kind of fun to hang with, frankly, spend some time with, she's got some joy in her, but I know life wasn't always easy for her either, definitely not. So thank you so much, Benny. Okay. All right, let's see who would like to connect it next here. Right. Yeah, she still is a great woman. I like to keep it present tense because I don't consider them passed on. So, all right. They're still living. They're just living in a different way. So I like to say they are or is. All right. Just give us a moment. They're sorting themselves out. Uh-huh. Yep. Okay. All right. There's a younger woman here. Um, I've got a younger woman here. This does feel like your daughter. I see her smoking cigarettes. Um, so, but not always, she says. So only sometimes. Um, hmm. I feel like she comes from a family of smokers. Some have quit, not all have quit. But she smoked, but not always. So this would feel almost like social smoking, maybe sometimes or something. I don't know how to place that. I just telling you what she's saying. Um, uh, okay, I don't want you to take this the wrong way. Okay, when I say it, but I've got to give you the way she says it. That she didn't her transition wasn't pretty is what she says. Okay, but I want to be careful how I say that, and I don't want to put some kind of visuals that don't match, but she says it was a process out for her is what she's saying. So this doesn't feel like an immediacy. However, I do feel a challenge to communicate towards the end here. And she feels almost too young for this, is what she's saying. I kind of want to go like in my early 20s with her. Is that making sense, Lisa? Because I only see one set of emojis up. You guys are doing great by using the emojis. Really doing great. Thank you. Okay. All right, Lisa. So first let me tell you, and she's saying her dad is supposed to be there, but he's not. So I don't know if you invited her dad to to join this and just watch. Um, this also feels like a little bit of a stretch for you, Lisa, is what your daughter is saying to you. But she's grateful for it. So it's like she's wanting to prove mediumship, that she is still continuing on to help heal your heart. Okay. And I know from her so much was done. Like we tried everything to keep her here. And she says, and I fought the good fight, but I just feel like I couldn't communicate the way I would have liked to, but we did it through eyes, is what she's saying, for a while. Do you understand that, Lisa? Yes or no in there, Lisa? I know you might be a little emotional right now. Okay, thanks. All right. And so uh okay, several things from her here. I know that there's multiple celebrations were done in honor of her. Okay. Um, and I noticed she's using the word celebrations, okay, because she's a very uplifting young woman, you know. much rather keep people upbeat. I mean, I just feel like she lights up a place anywhere she goes, and sometimes too many people were kind of like attracted to her. I didn't always get my own space. Like next thing you know, more people are gathering around me. Like if I'm out, but that's just how she is. um you know and so what she wants you to know, Mom, is that she did her role, she did her job. I did my job while I was there. And when you look back upon the history of her time while she's here in the physical world, you'll see how many things she did. She accomplished so many things. This woman was always on the move until she wasn't. Despite not feeling well at times, she was still on the move, you know? And she says, I just kept going until I couldn't keep going. And so she fulfilled what was intended for her to fulfill. And I know, and Lisa, if you could verify that, please, that would be great. I know that's hard for us to hear when somebody young transitions, right? But it's also nice when they share that from us, because we're always going to wonder, why did they go so young? Why did they transition so young? And she wants to talk about the like the sprinkling of lights. So it seems as though one of the signs that she gives you is like, it's not like literal sprinkling of lights, but it's like you see little, and a couple of times you've wondered like, oh, something is, my eyes. Like maybe I should get my eyes checked, or something's wrong with my blood pressure, because I'm seeing this like, it looks like just tiny little sparkles around. And she says, no, 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 that's just me, but of course I'm going to come in sparkly, you know so and the body chill that comes when she's around. And so she's is known to give lots of people hugs. And so a lot of people will be feeling these chills like throughout, and this coldness. But the coldness doesn't mean bad. I just want you to know, some people will make us feel cold, and some people will make us feel hot. But in her case, you'll get that cold and you think, oh my, like it's hard to get rid of that cold. So these are hugs from her. And she now, I look, I don't believe in pushing mediumship on anyone. Okay. So if people in the family are not necessarily open to it, because she does say there's some Bible people in the family, nothing wrong with that. But I will say, only share it to those that will believe in it. Okay. Only share those messages from those. And I know, I feel like there was also a celebration for her just very, very recently. Or is, wait, there's a couple of things. One very recently, and November is also seems to be a very significant month around her as well, or really right in the family as well. And yeah. And she's also talking about being forever etched. So sometimes we do these like honoring of bricks or something like this. This is not a marker like we would have like a in a cemetery or anything, but it's forever etched. My name, I'm forever etched. So but this feels like it's associated as though like we do with like some kind of like organization or something, and so she wants you to know that she's aware of this. And she says that she helped choose it, because it's like for some reason it seems as though you got flooded with like a whole bunch of options to do these things. And so she says, I helped you pick one. And so she says, good job, Mom, good job. See, we're still working together. So yes. So let me give you a lot of love from her. And boy, is she active. I mean, she likes to be outdoors. She likes to go to party. Like she likes to really, socialize and have a good time. So, but she's responsible also, just to be very clear on that. I'm not, uh, don't want to make her out to be something she isn't. Okay. So a lot of love to you and your family, Lisa. And I think your daughter did a beautiful job there. Um, so whatever those little sparkle things that you might see, like floaties, they're not exactly floaties. They're like her trying to get your attention. Okay. Oh, and keep playing the music for her if you don't mind. She likes it. So uh, you don't have the same moves as her, but she still likes it anyway. Okay. So with that, I will thank you so much, Lisa. Okay. All right. I think I would like to do a few more because they're doing so well here. So I think I would like to do a few more if possible, um, because I don't want to. Sometimes I just don't want to stop. You know what I'm saying? So okay. Hang in there, everybody. We just never know how your loved ones are going to connect. Okay. And thanks for being supportive of one another. That's very important. All right. So, okay. All right. Look, I'm not good with names at all, but I'm hearing like Dominic or Dominique. Um, so I'm not sure how to place that at the moment. Um, Dominic or Dominique, but I feel like that person would be here. Um, yeah, I feel like that person would be here in the physical world, but not necessarily in the group. Lily, Lily is understanding. Dominique or Dominic. So, but this feels like a. Allow me a moment here. I know I'm connecting with. Oh, wait a minute. I've got two people connecting in at the same time. That's what's happening here. All right. So I've got a younger male who's coming in as cool as can be. I look good. So he's talking about how he looks good. Okay. I look good. I smell good. I keep myself good, um, so yeah, he's like, he's, I don't know, a charmer, right? And even when I didn't have the money, I would have the ability to somehow make my clothes look good, right? So um, this is what he's saying. I'm gonna say, Rachel, I get a little confused with the red and black hearts. So that confuses me a little bit. So if they could be all of one color, that would be helpful because I don't know what the two colors mean. No need to apologize. I just need to clarify because I haven't done it this way. All right. Now, yeah. So we've got this cool dude coming in, but there's also a female, and I don't feel like they're tied. So I'm going to ask just one of them to speak at a time. Okay. So Lily has her emojis up. I want to say hands up. I'm so used to Zoom. And then there's also Rachel. So let me get a little more from this because this with this younger man, and I know Lily, a younger male, was trying to connect earlier too, but this younger man, this younger male, he's telling me this happened to him. Okay. And I feel like there's like an impact to the chest. Like I feel like the wind was knocked out of me. So and it feels more like an accident type scenario because I just feel like the wind was just knocked out of me. So, and one of the things he's saying is I was gone before I was gone. So the soul was transitioning before the physical body actually transitioned. So, okay, so we've got lots of little emojis in here. Who can accept that part? Because that's really critical here. Even the use of the word critical is important. Rachel, okay, all right, and this would be a son to you, correct, Rachel? No, okay. And Dominique is not associated with you. Is that right, Rachel? Or do I have that off? The name has come up before. Well, that's interesting. Okay. All right. But you don't know who that is, but that's got to be somebody here. Okay. Because there clearly was here in the physical world. So this is not his son. All right. He didn't give me a he didn't give me a relationship, but I know he was married when he transitioned because he just showed me a wedding ring. So I know he was married when he transitioned. This is not an old guy either. Okay. So I want to be very clear on this. He says old enough, but not old. So I if I had to put a range on that, because he's clear as mud, it feels like, and I feel like he's actually teasing me and working me a little bit, just to be clear. So I kind of appreciate when people do that with me sometimes, because they really push me sometimes from the spirit world, right? He keeps giving you a ring. That's interesting. Old, but not old enough. So I don't even know how to place that kind of age range, because what he's doing is he's not working within the way that I like to work. But what's good about this is that he's communicating in a way that he communicates. So even though throws me off just a little bit, right? This lets me know that he's got his own unique ways of doing things, and he doesn't want anybody to change him either. That's the thing. I don't want anybody changing up the way I do things. So he's not going to necessarily work within my way of working, if you will, when we connect together in the spirit world. And doesn't make him a bad guy or anything, but he kind of, he's not breaking any rules or anything like that, but he's got to definitely just do things his way, right? So and I think he's having a lot of fun with me, I gotta say, because he's like watching you have hiccups. That's what he's calling it. Oh, I see, he's a prankster, because what he's calling it, it's fun watching you have hiccups. That's what he's calling it. So the hiccups he's talking about is our flow is not as fast as maybe some others have been. So he's really, really laughing at this. And he says, Rachel, 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 how many times are we going to do this? It's like, when are you going to trust? Like, I'm around you. So I know you have posted in here that like he keeps giving you a ring. The name has come up before. And I feel like the reason he said that is like, how many readings are you going to do before you feel comfortable knowing that I'm okay? That's what he's saying. You understand that? I like how he called you Rachel so many times. Okay. So, but he wants to work with you. Okay. He wants to develop the conversation stronger with you. Then there's nothing wrong with going with mediums, but the more that we can build our own connection with our own loved ones, the more that we can do that, the better, right? Because we always want to be able to have that communication, and they want to bridge that gap with you as well. So, so that's key. Don't forget about that, right? And so, what this gentleman is trying to do is, I keep seeing LPs, records, and he's like, let's talk through music and let's talk through words. So music, when somebody brings up music from the spirit world, put on something streaming and ask them to pick some songs for you. We call it the music game, and ask them to pick some songs to give you signs. And usually it'll be anywhere between 3 to 5 songs, right? So it could be the lyrics, the artist name, right? With the songs, but also the writing that he's talking about. And I don't see him necessarily as a writer himself, but that he likes to get communication right. And the thing about that is, I find this kind of ironic since he's working me a little bit hard. Can you confirm some of this, Rachel? Like with the music, the idea of the writing is start to ask him a question, but when the answer comes faster than you can finish your question, uh, write the answer down and then go back and fill in the question. Okay, because he is talking about um, wanting to break barriers, and he was doing good success here before he left, but unfortunately he transitioned too quickly to finish what he wanted to do. So, but for somebody who really wanted to be listened to the correct way, because he doesn't like to repeat himself, I notice. So he's giving you a way also to connect with him, and that is through the writing, and that anybody can practice that as well if their loved ones are you just start to write a question or anything you want to say to them. You just start to write it, and then whatever comes, or type, however you want to do it, it doesn't matter. But I think you get the sense, because I'm just trying to help when people give it in different ways. All right. But Rachel, oh, it looks like you've rearranged a few things in your home recently as well. Because he's talking about that you've rearranged some things as well. So um, he doesn't have the same taste in whatever you've done. I don't know what to say about that, Rachel. Is that fit for you? Yes. Okay. All right. Well, look, I'm just the messenger. All right. so, um, so it's not his favorite thing, but he's saying that this shows that she's trying to do more things for herself, and he's very happy to see that. So, a lot of love from this man to you, Rachel. Okay. A lot of love from him to you. And um, thanks for it's thanks for putting up with some of the people in his family um that haven't been so easy with you, he says. So, you know only as long as you want to. All right, let me give you a lot of love from him. And you know what, I'm gonna say, these people in the spirit world, they're so they're doing such a good job here, like they always do, by showing the differences in connections, right? Because every reading is different. Every reading is different. You're welcome, Rachel. You're very welcome. Thanks for joining today. Okay. All right. I think we could do maybe one or two more. That's what my guides are letting me know. So, but let's see what happens, because I'm always game for it. All right. I've got a woman on the mother side of the family connecting. I can never get it right, but she's doing either some knitting or crocheting, like some kind of needle type work. And looks like she could do a sewing. Like I'm hearing like seamstress as well. Like she could do that. I don't feel like that she did that for necessarily a living, but it was just put the emojis if you don't mind, because I can't read all that and speak with them all at the same time. It's kind of a lot to keep up with. But I feel like that was like a hobby and she liked to do things for people. Okay. Um, Kay's Thought Palace. I like the name of that. So you've got a lot of hands up, but I would like to get a little more information from her. All right. I know this, she grew up not having, is what she's telling me. So this is finances, because I even feel like I'm seeing, like almost not quite dirt dirt floors, but didn't have a lot. There was always some food, but not always a lot. And we really had to work hard to make ends meet, but life got better as things moved along. So I'm seeing uh Kay's, yeah. Okay, all right. um okay, I, I must be with Kay because I think that's the only one at this point. Um, okay, and Kay, it feels as though, um, I mean, I feel like she's been in the spirit world for quite some time now. Not that I'm calling you old at all, but I just feel like she's been in the spirit world for quite some time. And I know you mentioned Ireland already, and but I mean, there you've got large families on both sides. Father's side and mother's side. I mean, there's just a lot of people in the spirit world around there. But your grandmother, I don't feel like you were always able to you didn't get to know her as good as you would have liked to have known her, is the feeling that she gives. And um okay, it also appears by what she's saying. So I know some of her work is still here. Okay, like some of the things that she's made, that's still within the family because she's calling them treasured pieces, right? So some of that is still here. And um okay, she's also talking about being the keeper of the children. So what that means generally is like this woman like loves kids, but when somebody mentions from the spirit world like they're the keeper of the children, she's giving it to me in multiple ways. So unfortunately, it seems like there's quite a few pregnancies that didn't make their way here into the physical world for multiple reasons. Doesn't matter whatever the reason is. There's no judgment. And also, she spends time with the children in the spirit world as well. So she feels good because she's telling me like my bones don't hurt anymore, like her hands look good. And so presenting younger than when she transitioned. She also is saying that so she's talking about you like perhaps like changed a relationship, is that right? Yes, no, thumbs up, thumbs down. Okay. That you changed the relationship. So we're talking about like a romantic relationship, like you were with somebody and now you're somebody else. No. Okay, that's off. All right. Would you have a sister that did that? That went through that? Because there's definitely a reference to a change in relationship like that, and I'm glad you haven't, Kay. But would you have a sister that would have? Yes, no, no. Okay, so that's off. Well, she's referencing. All I can tell you is that she's referencing a change in relationship, but it feels like in romantic relationship. So, um, and that would be here, not with her. Okay, she, as she puts it, she would never. But so that is tied to here. Okay, so I haven't found a person the way that she's referencing it for me. She okay. Another thing that she gave here also is that the family tree, that there's been some interest and some work being done on the historical family tree. Um, and so she says that now look, sometimes when we go back so far, it's going to be hard to find the records, right? But she says it's like you have to go to the churches. She says you've got to go to the old churches, and so and she says and they are reluctant to give the information, but if you push a little harder, they will. So and I asked her why would they be reluctant? And she just rolled her eyes and she says, because that's how churches can be sometimes. Now, this is not a slam against churches, but it just feels to be like you must go through these very significant, paperwork channels to kind of get that information. That's how she's describing it. So there's no slam against churches or anything, because I do feel like she had some guidelines within you know how church helped guide her life and kept her going. I'm not feeling that she was devout per se, but but it definitely had some of those guidelines, which is wonderful. um but but she likes the idea because she says it's important to, and then she wants all of it passed down to uh well, great grandchildren at this point, so she wants that information passed down, because she says also she's also showing there's a family shield. Okay, so we're going way back with on her side. We're going way back. So if you know what I mean by the family shield, right? Um, so we're going way back on that. And she says it'll be found. It'll be found. Okay. So if you don't have it already. And so she says that she wants to thank you all for doing the hard work, because of the understanding, because some of you understand now why you feel the way you do, because some people didn't always feel like they fit in, or where do we come from, or how is it like this. That's how she's talking about it. Okay, so yeah. So very appreciative of this, because she says this means that we are not forgotten, even though we were written off in our own country. So that's a big statement from her. But let me give you a lot of love, Kay, and thank you so much for participating. Okay. All right. Let's see. One more. Okay, I think I'm going to be able to do one more. Is what they're saying. I know they said one or two, so we'll see. Just one moment. I just want to make sure I try to get this connection right, because you guys should see, like, through my eyes sometimes, how people shuffle themselves about. groups are always kind of interesting. So yeah, I'm going to try for one more, but I'm not sure I'm going to make a strong connection, you guys. Okay. But I'm going to try. Um, I'm not sure we're going to be able to build that connection. It just feels far. And because it feels so far, I don't want to force the issue. I've been doing this long enough that when the link starts to get like a little weak, then it doesn't become a good reading. It doesn't become a good reading. So I'm not going to have any more from your loved ones, but I am going to leave you with a short message from guides, okay? Because yeah, I'm just not going to be able to do that. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't have control over how that goes. So my guides and your loved ones, they work within the energy that we have. So I don't have control on that aspect as much as I'd like to. So that being said, my guides would like to leave with a little message, which I think is very nice here to do. So, and that is, don't forget, don't forget that you all have the ability to reach us here in the spirit world. It's just done differently. It's done differently than how mediums do it, but what they want for you to know is any way that feels right to you to connect to the spirit world, however that is, whether it's through a meditation, whether it's through writing, whether it's through music, whether it's through signs, let it be known that that is never wasted. Let it be known that you have that right to connect to the spirit world at any given time. Let it be known that we are there for you, even though it feels as though we have abandoned you in the hardest of times. Let it be known that your family members and your guides, even though you may not know us, let it be known that we are here to assist you on your journey. Let it be known that you are never, ever alone. Let it be known that the soul does not suffer at times of transition. Let it be known that the case is whether you are to consider it a traumatic transition, or you consider it to be one of suffering, or you consider it to be one of cognition issues. What you may perceive with the physical body is not the perception and the feeling that is happening with the soul. Let it be known that the soul is always taken care of. Let it be known that as deep as the pain may feel, we are helping you with your soul. It is a reconnection from you to your soul that will bring you within alignment and readjustment on your course and on your journey here in the physical world. Let it be known. Well, I didn't see all of that coming. So that was a beautiful message from them to all of you. To all of you and all of us and me as well, because I always get things from them. So with that being said, I see some people contributed, so thank you so much for not only joining me today, participating in the way that you have. I've really enjoyed it, and I'm sure we'll do some more down the road. Yeah, I'm gonna leave you with that. And I think we had some beautiful connections today. So I really hope that you all, each and every one of you, got something out of it, even though you didn't get a direct reading, is learning how spirit works. And with that being said, I'm going to thank you all so much again for joining, and I hope you have a good rest of your weekend. Take care, each and every one of you. And just that message, the chat will be there. So just that message about let it be known was really nice from the guides, I must say. So take care of yourselves, everyone. And we're going to end it here. Okay? So thanks so much. Have a good rest of your weekend. And you're going to see this end now.